Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope the show finds you in good spirits. Hope the day finds you in great spirits as well. But we have got some things to talk about, guys. This is a story that I have not been able to talk to you guys about because there hasn't really been any updates with this. But regardless, there has been some new stuff that has popped off. And I'm like, you know what? We need to talk about this because this is a case. This is a story that just kind of was here and then just kind of flew under the radar just for a little bit or for a little while, to be honest. And there's just a lot to consume. If you don't know about this story, if you don't know about this case, I'm going to give you guys a quick kind of reminder of it and everything. This is devastating, y'all. This is not great news. I was going to do this as a pop-up video, but then I was like, no. Let me do this live with the fam. You know what I mean? It's been a while, since I've done. It's been a couple days, I think, since I've done a live show. So I was like, you know what? Let me go live with you guys and let you guys know what's going on with this, because this is a story that people really cared about 2 years ago, year and a half, something like that. It's been a while. It really has been a while. And so now we're getting some information. Okay, not a year and a half. Sorry. Why am I saying that? I was completely wrong. But about a year ago, coming up to a year ago. Okay. And so it's been a little wild. We haven't really known anything as of yet until information that's been leaked, information that's come out in the trial that's going on right now. Okay. Again, I'll explain everything, of course. I will. But if you guys can do me a favor, hit that like button down below. That would be greatly appreciated. Crush it. Okay. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure to hit that reaction button down below. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay. Of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, crush that follow button over there as well. We talk about a lot of things on this channel, a lot of things on this show. And this is one of the stories, one of the cases that we were covering a little less than a year ago. We're a few months shy of a year. Okay. And now we're starting to hear some new information that's absolutely mind-blowing. And I figured we were going to hear stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a buck. I figured we were going to hear some things, but I just didn't expect it to happen. I just didn't expect it to happen today. Let's just be completely real. But I hope you guys all doing well out there. Okay. I hope you're having a wonderful hump day and all that. For those of y'all who are just wrapping up your day, hopefully you end it strong. And for those of y'all who are just getting started with your day, hey, kick it in the butt, man. Make it scream out your name. Make it your day. Okay. So with all that positivity out of the way, we got to talk about this unfortunate story. And the story I'm talking about is of Codi Bigsby. Okay. I've heard two different news reports saying he's 3. I've heard he's 4. So I'm just going to say he's 4 years old. He went missing, or he was reported missing in January of 2022. All right. And of course, the whole world was looking for this young boy. Everybody was looking for Codi Bigsby. But of course, there were some things that were going on, especially with the dad, Codi Bigsby, okay, that made us look at him with a side eye, with an inquisitive eye. We were all looking at him like, nah, something ain't right here. Something's just not right with this dude. Something's not right with the timeline. Something's not right with this whole story. Some foul play is afoot. as we all like to say on this show, right? Foul play is afoot, right? So I know a lot of you guys are wondering, okay, who's this Codi Bigsby? Who is Codi Bigsby? All that stuff. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a quick kind of breakdown of what we knew back then. So just giving you guys a kind of like a timeline of the events. So let me get this. Let me get that up. Hold on, guys. Okay, let me get that up for you guys so we can see this together as a family. Okay. Just a little bit of a, as Raven said, a refresher. Okay, if you will. All right. So this is from February of 2022, just so you guys know. All right. So it's been a while. Okay. It's been a minute. Okay. Been a long minute since we've talked about, since we've muttered his name, since we've heard about this young boy, all that. But I figured, you know what? This is the time to bring it up and talk to you guys about it nonetheless. Okay. So this is just the breakdown of events surrounding the missing Hampton boy's disappearance. Okay. Codi Bigsby. So obviously the news of him missing, of course, shook residents of Hampton and the entire area on January 31st. Codi Bigsby's father, Codi Bigsby, originally told police he woke up the morning of the 31st of January and found his son was missing. Codi then said he looked all over and Codi was nowhere to be found. Officers searched again and were unable to find Codi, adding that other young children were in the home and were located safely. Again, this man had other children. Okay? He had other children in this room, in this house. And of course, we heard later on other stories of Corey, the father, going off and getting things from like a gas station and coming back. And that's when he noticed that Codi was missing and all that. There were so many questions, understandably, so many questions. You guys remember this? People were wondering, did he just open up the front door? Did this kid have abilities to open the front door and just walk out the front door? There were people going out of their way, going door to door, searching high and low in the neighborhoods, thinking that maybe this kid got up and just walked on foot. But again, this is a 3-4-year-old kid. He's not going to be able to get very far, especially if Corey went off. I'm just saying, during the time, if Corey went off to the gas station or to the supermarket, wherever he did, to go pick up whatever he needed to and came back, which is probably maybe 10, 15 minutes. You really think that a 3-4-year-old boy would be able to cover that much traction? I doubt it, right? But again, no stone was unturned. And I appreciate the people in that community for dedicating so much time and effort in trying to find this young boy. Real talk. But he is still not to be found. We have not found him. It's not like I'm out there looking for him, but they have not found him. He is still gone right now, guys. So let me continue, okay? As search efforts and investigations continued, Corey was listed as a person of interest. He was then arrested for child neglect charges for incidents not directly related to Codi's disappearance because he wasn't taking the good care of the kids, of the other kids, okay? Not at all. So the fact that he was arrested for those as well says something about what's going on here, okay? So police said that they still need the public's help for knowing Corey and Codi's last whereabouts. There has been no evidence so far that leads the investigation to believe that he was handed off to a family member. Any information could be valuable to the police. They're asking residents of the Old Buck Row neighborhood to search their properties and report anything suspicious. I mean, again, this is what he looked like when he was first brought in. And and this is crazy because I'm taking like a crazy trip down memory lane, but I remember that there were other really big Facebook platforms that were sitting outside of the police precinct because there was word that Codi Bigsby was in the precinct, that he wasn't detained, that he wasn't arrested, but he was in the precinct. And he was in there for days, y'all, before he was actually officially incarcerated and charged with things. He was there for a few days. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he was in there for a few days. And there was one particular woman, I'm trying to remember her name. It escapes me right now. It's been a long time, guys. Many, many stories I've told since then. But I remember her outside trying to talk to lawyers, trying to talk to other officers, trying to find out what was going on because there was not much transparency coming from police during that time. And I get it. They're playing everything close to the chest. They're trying to find out what the heck is going on and all that. But at the same time, you got the man that by the court of public opinion is suspect number one. He's not detained. He's not arrested, but he's in the precinct. And I know a lot of us wrote a young live. Wow. Thank you. Deep cut. But Cynthia, thank you on Facebook. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. And she did a great job. Okay. Shout out to Rhoda Young Live. She did her thing. She did that. Okay. Her coverage was incredible. But one of the wild things is that they were sitting there. We're all wondering, why won't 5-0 let us know what's going on? He's in there, but he's not arrested, but he's in the precinct and he hasn't walked out the precinct. That's a little bit weird, right? And he never left. In fact, he never got out until he actually got bailed out, but that was later on. But for days, he was in there, not officially arrested. There was no charges on him, nothing, which is a little bit odd. Okay. I think we all agree that it was a little bit odd. Okay. But now we're in this new place. There is a trial going on right now as we speak. And there is new statements, new things that are being exposed, revealed, for lack of a better term, at this trial. I'm going to say this right now. This is not going to be easy to talk about, guys. I'm just going to say that really, really quick. This is not going to be an easy one to talk about. If you are a father or a mother, if you are a parent, okay, this is not going to be an easy one. Because allegedly, he does allegedly confess. And he doesn't confess in just one time. Allegedly, he confesses several times. He confesses a bunch of times, written out in his own handwriting, in his own notebook, details on what he actually did or what actually happened, for lack of a better term, what actually happened to Codi Bigsby. Again, I'm going to be using code words. I'm going to be riding through this really quick. This is not going to be easy for any of us because this is a little kid. And if you even have a heart that beats in your chest, this is going to be tough. All right? But let's take a look at this because what's confusing is the articles that are coming out right now discussing this. Several different ones are saying several different things. So we're going to be talking about, we're going to be going through those articles and reading from each one. Now, this is the one that has the most detail as far as what you see in the title above, right? Not the title above. I'm saying the title right here. Okay. He wrote that he attacked him and then buried Codi. Okay. And at the end of the day, let's keep it real. We all know that Corey had a hand at the disappearance of Codi Bigsby. We all know that. What we don't know is what actually happened. And I could see, and I get that for a lot of us, hearing this sucks. Hearing this is very tough because we already know. He's nowhere to be found. He's gone, guys. He's gone. We don't know where he is. Real talk. So, of course, you do the math, you read or cover or follow enough true crime, missing person stories where the remains have not been found or anything of that sort. It's very easy for us to instantly go down the road of the last person who saw him most likely did it kind of thing. Okay? Especially when it comes to little kids. This is a very disturbed individual. Let me just say that because he's looking at a bunch of other charges for his other children. So this ain't a good dad. Period. So let's get into this. Let me blow this up so you guys can see this. Okay. All right. So Codi Bigsby wrote in a jailhouse statement last year that I'm going to use these code words, but he attacked his then 3-year-old son with his fist in June of 2021 until the boy fell unconscious. So this little boy had a altercation with his dad, or the man who brought him on this planet, all right, in June of 2021, y'all. Just think about that for a second, because I'm not even done yet. But he was reported missing in January of 2022. Okay, let's continue. He says he tried CPR. This is what he wrote in one of his confessions, by the way. But the boy never woke up. The statement introduced Wednesday in the Hampton Court Circuit in a motion by Bigsby's attorneys to block 4 written jailhouse statements being used as evidence in his pending M trial. The defense asserts Bigsby made the statements under duress. This is what they're saying that he did. Now, the thing is, if he wrote this and he said, if this young boy lost his life in June of 2021, the math isn't mathing for me, but it is possible. But it wouldn't make any sense that why a whole year and a half almost, if that's the case. To me, it says maybe there's some mental break going on in his mind. Like maybe he's having a mental break and his timeline is off. But he does write in 4 different statements, 4 different written jailhouse statements, basically the same thing. The only thing that's changed is the dates and the years. That's the only thing. It just things get shifted around and change a little bit. Okay? So under duress, sure. He might be going through a mental break at this time when he wrote this. So his timeline might be off. But still, June of 2021 is kind of wild. Okay. So when the circuit, let's get back into this when the circuit court judge James Hawks hasn't, while circuit court judge James Hawks hasn't ruled on whether to bar the statements, they became public after being introduced as exhibits at the hearing. In 3 of the 4 statements, all written while in custody at Hampton Roads Regional Jail, Bigsby said he had simply found Codi Bigsby unconscious. He tried to give him CPR, he wrote, and then buried him, with the statements containing various dates for when that happened. Okay. But in one statement dated November of 2022, he wrote that he attacked his son, code words, before the toddler became unresponsive. Unlike the other 3 statements, Bigsby didn't willingly hand over the statement or dictate the words to a jail guard. Instead, guards actually found it in a black and white composition notebook in the inmate's cell in December of 2022. Hampton police then obtained the statement by way of search warrant on the jail, with prosecutors now planning to use it as evidence at Bigsby's second-degree M trial in March. This is what he wrote in one of them. So he said, on June 18th, 2021, I, Codi Bigsby, walked in the room and grabbed Codi and dragged him into the kitchen. Then Bigsby said that Codi thumped his head on the floor. Okay? That he thumped his head on the floor and attacked him with my fist, and he went into cardiac arrest. After the CPR didn't work, he wrote he carried Codi upstairs and put him in a bathtub to see if he would respond. Continuing, he says, he did not. So I held him and I prayed to God that he would bring my baby back. He continues writing, saying, then I took him, I guess, to the room and laid him on the bed. After that, Bigsby said he got a flashlight and charged it, bought gas and snacks at the gas station. Bigsby says, or he at least writes, that he went to an empty car wash and put Codi into a bag and drove home and put him, quote unquote, in the fridge. Then he put Codi back in the car. He said, drove him to a building and dug a hole by a tree and buried him. Then he says, continuing, then went home and prayed for forgiveness. He went to King's Dominion the next day, he added, and later dumped my clothes from the crime in the trash and buried them. Then the next day, I went back to burn Codi and cover up scars from the attack. Then they say in parentheses, the statement doesn't explain how he would have been able to access Codi again, given that he just wrote that the boy had been buried. He continues saying, then I went home, I took a bath with another child, with one of the kids, and says, please accept my confession. Sincerely, Codi Bigsby. The 2-page statement found has 2 X's over both pages, apparently written by Bigsby before the notebook was actually found. That was one of the 4 statements Bigsby made while locked up at the regional jail between the weeks after reporting his son missing from the family's Buckrow Beach town home on January 31st, 2022. And when he was released on bond earlier this year, Codi was never found, and he still has not been found. The defense asked the judge to seal the jailhouse statements before trial, but Hampton Commonwealth's attorney Anton Bell was adamant the statements be made public, saying Bigsby's lawyer or lawyers have been, quote unquote, trying their case in the press. And now their, quote unquote, day of reckoning. Now is their day of reckoning with the truth coming out. Okay? Now, they say Bigsby's 4 statements vary greatly, not only about the dates, which we just talked about a little bit before, but also about what happened. The first 2 statements were made on August 3rd, 2022, with Bigsby saying in one that he went out to wash clothes. He came back home and found Codi at the bottom of the steps, unresponsive. He must have fallen, Bigsby wrote. All 4 statements, he wrote that he tried to perform CPR to no avail. Bigsby wrote several occasions that he took his deceased son to building 5511 on Garrett A. Morgan Boulevard and buried him behind the building near a tree. Then I drove home and I prayed to Jesus to save Codi, and I failed him. He wrote in one statement. I am becoming tired of torture. So now I am confessing because my family and the police are conducting these crimes and I cannot take it anymore. Now, what's interesting is they say the Garrett A. Morgan Boulevard address, this is in Maryland, outside of Washington. Police and federal law enforcement searched the area in the summer of 2022 following his first statement, and they did not find Codi. Bigsby's attorneys maintain that jail guards promised Bigsby a meeting with his family if he provided the August 3rd, 2022 statement. It was only 2 days after the statement that the jail took the unusual step of having Bigsby's family in for a luncheon, in which they ordered some Hardee's, and apparently that's Bigsby's favorite restaurant. So, but one of the lieutenants, the regional jail's deputy superintendent, testified that he asked the family in for the visit only because Bigsby was, quote unquote, losing weight and not eating, and he was concerned about his mental health. Anderson said he finds that people's mood improve if they can eat what they love to eat and be in the company of people that they love. Was there any type of agreement to get him to provide a confession? The prosecutor asked. No, the lieutenant said. So, of course, this hearing is going to be continuing more on Thursday, tomorrow and all that. Now, what's interesting is, to me, it is plain to see, plain as day, in my personal opinion, that his mind is cracked. He is not mentally well. We can all agree on that. There is footage of him out here showing up to him in court. And you can see this man he's not taking care of himself. He has just pretty much lost everything. He's given up. Okay. Now, when it comes to these statements, to me, it shows that this is somebody who has mentally cracked. He has cracked. But somewhere within those 4 statements lies the truth. You have to kind of piece them together. That's just what I think. After hearing about the dates are off, but he knows what he did. One of them, he says that he attacked this young boy and then he became unconscious. He performed his CPR. Okay. He also says that he buried the young boy, but maybe he doesn't remember where he buried him. But he's not, at the end of the day, he's the one. He is the guy. Why would he go and write all these different letters? Now, the thing is some people might be asking, like, Aesop's going to what? Well, are you sure he's not faking it, Pascal? If he's faking it, him giving half-assed, watered down confessions and trying to seem off is not going to help in his plea. It's not going to help in his narrative. It's not going to help for the defense at all. Sure, it's going to show him that he's off in the head, but that's not going to change the fact that he's guilty of doing what he did. The only issue I see is that he's not telling them where his son actually is. That's the issue. We're not hearing where he is exactly. We're hearing different stories. Sure, the confessions, these notes, these letters, these statements are varying in different ways, but they all have the common denominators, right? They have some common bullet points in there that show that this man is confessing to doing this unthinkable thing to this 3-4-year-old boy. Just because his timeline is off, the dates are off, does not mean that there's not a confession in that mug. At least that's the way I see it. They got their guy. That's clear. But the thing is that, and the other thing too is, why would he write? Let me just say this too. If he didn't do it, let's just be real. If he didn't do it and he felt like, no, I'm innocent, every single letter that he writes should be 2 words. I'm innocent. That's it. That's it. Why put in all these details? Oh, I did this and then he was unconscious. Then I took him and I did this and I went to get gas and I did this and I took the clothes and burned the clothes and all that stuff. Why would you say all that stuff if you innocent? Again, why would you say all that stuff if you were innocent? That doesn't help you. That's the stupidest defense in the world if you're innocent. So something within those confessions, those statements, something within those statements lies the truth. I know that's weird and strange, but at the same time, we're finding out what's going on here. It just might be a little bit jostled up. Now, the defense is trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, they try to go, you're going to get some Hardee's. Write the confession, if you'll get a bag of cheeseburgers. Like, come on, guys. Like, nah. I think if that was the case, if it was that one time, why would he write 3 more? I'm just saying, why would there be 3 more? Why would there be 3 of them? Because he'd be like, yo, you got the deal. I wrote the confession. Now buzz off. I'm going to eat my Hardee's real quick. Nom, nom, nom. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a wrap. So why all these other written confessions? Why all these written confessions? Real talk. Again, it doesn't make sense. Okay? But And the other thing is, okay, the other thing that's really frustrating about this is that he has not been found yet. He still has not been found yet. We do not know where this young boy is, but we know who was the last one to see him. And we know by hearing those statements, those confessions, all of them, we know who's the person that took this young boy's life. So I know in court, they might be able to, the defense might be able to finesse that, try to, finagle something out of it, but the thing, and just move the goal post as much as they can or something like that. But at the same time, he wrote 4 different, you didn't understand what I said? Let me write it one more time. Oh, you didn't understand what I said? Let me write that one more time. Okay, again, you didn't understand what I said? Let me write it one more time. He did it 4 times, guys. The only thing that's really changed was the date. Now, it still shows that, there might be a psychological break there. Definitely psychological break. But that doesn't take him away. That does not distance him or disconnect him from the actual crime. The only issue that we're seeing right now is we don't know where Codi is. He says he buried him by a tree. But I want to say this too. He might sit there and say, I buried him under a tree, but there's a million trees in the world. He could be buried by any tree. He could maybe, through this psychological break, forget where he buried Codi. That could possibly happen. Plenty of trees in the world. Plenty of trees on that avenue, on that boulevard. What was it again? Plenty of trees on that boulevard. Hold on. What was it called again? Dang, that's going to drive me crazy. The Garrett A. Morgan Boulevard. That address. Plenty of trees, I'm sure, in that area. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that 5-0 didn't do their due diligence, look things up, try to find, look in that area thoroughly. I'm not sitting there saying that. All I'm saying is he could mistakenly thought of one place, but maybe he was in a daze. Maybe he doesn't remember, Like I said, clearly this man is not well. He is not well in the head. It is clear as day that this man is not well at all. Okay? He has not been he's clearly not taking care of himself. He clearly, when you hear about the statements that I read to you guys, clearly he's not okay. He's not okay. But using that as the insanity plea, nah. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. It's not a strong enough argument in my personal opinion. But let me play this a little bit, guys.
Now at 4, a major development out of Hampton.
Hold on, guys.
In the case of Codi Bigsby.
It comes from new testimony in court today. Codi Bigsby is charged in the death of his 4-year-old son, Codi. The boy's body has never been found.
Several officers at the Hampton Roads Regional Jail shared several confessions in court today, saying Bigsby found Codi unresponsive, then buried his body. 10 on your side, Tiana Patterson has the new information on the case.
And in court today, we heard not 1, not 2, but 3 confession letters from Codi Bigsby during his time.
There's 4. Just so you know, there's 4. Allegedly, there's 4. But let's continue.
At the Hampton Roads Regional Jail. The first officer from Hampton Roads Regional Jail read aloud the confession that Codi asked him to write down. He says he found Codi unresponsive, tried to give Codi CPR several times, went outside and prayed to God, then came back inside and realized his son was not coming back. He adds he put his son in a trash bag and then placed the bag inside of his car for 3 days, then drove to a location and buried his body and threw away items in the dumpster.
Now, let me ask you this, guys. I'm just going to say it really quick. I mean, because obviously they're saying he allegedly, they're all saying he allegedly wrote these statements in the jail. You know what I mean? And that's fine. That's fine and all. But he wrote these. Let's be real. He wrote this, but at the same time, why would you say all this information? The bag, the fact that it was in the car for several days, talking about the days, the span of days before he took the bag out to the tree, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, he even said he put it in the refrigerator. He put the bag in the refrigerator, and then he put it back in the car, then drove out to that Garrett Boulevard, whatever drive area, and then that's where he went and started digging. Allegedly, obviously, he didn't do that. We don't know where the young boy is. Okay, still to this day. But at the same time, why would he say all that? In one of the statements said everything. I attacked him. He went unconscious. I performed CPR. I left. I got gas, came back, put him in a bag. That same note said I put him in a refrigerator, took him out, drove him out to this place in this boulevard area, Garrett Boulevard, and started digging. Said all of that in one letter. I'm just saying, you don't need to tell me much. You done did the damn thing. You done did it. Okay? You done did it. One other one explained that he put a cowboy rug underneath him before he covered the hole. You get what I'm saying? One of the other confession statements, other written statements, one of the 4, okay, not 3, but 4. He even said that too. I'm just saying, thank God they're using these confessionals, these statements in the trial, but at the same time, y'all, he done did this, y'all. He done did this. Let's continue.
Bigsby then signed that written version from the first correctional officer.
There you go.
Then another officer who was the night shift supervisor had him write down his own confession letter and sign it, saying very similar statements. The third Hampton Roads Regional Jail officer took the stand, saying that there were writings found inside of his cell that outlined a different picture. This outlined that Corey beat his son Codi until he went into cardiac arrest and then did some very disturbing things with his body before burying him. Now, we were able to look at those documents that were read inside of court, but we also talked with the Commonwealth attorney as he was heading out to lunch. He said today is the day of reckoning and today is the day of truth, but he did not want to share anything more. Take a listen. I know you said today was the day of reckoning. What did you mean by that? No comment? Still going to be silent?
I'm still going to be solid, but just listen up in court. That's all I can tell you.
All right.
Yeah.
And coming up at 5, we'll
I mean, let's be real. The man did this. Like it's frustrating, it's frustrating to even think that that we have to even entertain this. It's frustrating that we even have to entertain this at all because of, this young boy should still be on this planet, right? This young boy should still be breathing and learning new things and seeing life and seeing the full potential of his life, right? But he's not getting that. He's not getting that. And one thing that's really frustrating as well is that we don't know where this young boy is. We do not know where he is. That's very frustrating as well. It's messed up and it's wrong. Well, when you have somebody who's written 4 different statements, one of them was X'd out in his black and white composition notebook, you know what I'm saying? Like one of these, real talk. Lock him up and throw away the doggone key. Okay? Lock him up and throw away the doggone key. Let me see if I got something else for you guys. Just it's so sad. It is just so sad and frustrating. Frustrating and
Our
sad.
other big
And I know that everybody's really on the Caitlin Armstrong story and case and all that, and I'm gonna be looking into that a little bit more as well. The only thing that sucks about that is I wish there was a camera in court so we can actually see everything. I know that they're going to be that a camera's going to be there during the closing arguments and the verdict. So most likely I will be watching those, doing a live stream, watching that whole thing. And Nikki said, what's Caitlin Armstrong? Check out my recent video where I was talking about Armstrong's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend was shoving cameramen and everything. Go and check out that video. I put a fast summary in the very beginning of it, in the very beginning of the video. So go and check it out if you can. I'm sure that'll be very helpful for you so that you know who Caitlin Armstrong is. But there's a big trial going on. Everybody's on it, or everybody's watching it. Not a lot of people. Some people are reporting it, but not a lot are reporting it. But there's a lot going on in that one. Okay. But when they do actually go into closing arguments and the verdict, we will be watching it. Okay. And yes, Nikki just said it. You know what I mean? It's the bicycle love triangle. Okay. It's the love tricycle. Something like that. Check it out. Okay. Go and check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. Debbie, okay, maybe this isn't a popular opinion, but people that have known serious mental issues should have their okay. You know what? That is a statement. The tubes. You're talking about the vasectomy. Getting the naughty bits just snipped. I think there's a problem with there's a big problem of lack of awareness of mental health. I think that's the problem. I think there's a lot of people that are not fully aware. Not a lot of people are fully self-aware of what's going on with them internally. So they don't know if they need to talk to somebody or not. They just continue on floating through life, living their life. And then also that's the other thing too. There's the fear of the stigma being attached, right, to the idea of getting help or something of that sort. I feel there needs to be a little bit more awareness and of course making it more of a normalcy out here in these streets with mental health. I truly believe that. But it can only be done one person at a time. It can only happen when people start to make the decision to fully be more self-aware within themselves, how they're feeling and all that. I think that there is a lot of people out here that don't know what's going on and they're going off and they're living their lives and they're having kids and all that. And then later on in life, they realize, oh my Lord, I have this severe mental health issue that was never diagnosed or never was properly diagnosed. And I think that's a big problem. You see what I'm saying? So sure, nip tuck, all that stuff. Okay. But I feel that unfortunately it's the acknowledgement and the knowledge of knowing when to be self-aware for yourself that I feel that the average Joe, that average Americans, average people are not in tune with. I have these things, I have these feelings. I don't know how to react to it, or, I got this going on, I got that, but I don't know what to say about it. So I'm just going to keep doing my thing, or I'm going to keep leaning on my vices even more because I don't know what's going on with me and I don't know why I feel this way. But hey, those drinks are helping me tremendously, or, that weed is helping me. You know what I mean? But I think if there was more self-awareness, I think it'd be a completely different story. I don't know. but I do feel that there's a lot of people that learn before it's too late, like a Codi Bigsby situation, right? They are, it sounds from what I'm hearing, this is not this guy's first rodeo. Okay. He's looking at several counts of child neglect right now as well. This is not somebody who just suddenly out of nowhere just went off. This guy goes off a lot. And he might think that this is normal. He might think this is just normal for him. I don't know. That is justified, his actions, because he doesn't know any better. I'm not trying to justify him. May he be buried under that prison for what he has done. But at the same time, a lot of times these things happen, and then that's when they realize they have a mental health issue. That's when they realize that they are battling something. It's always when it's too late. And I think that there's a language that we just don't know yet out here. It's the language of being more self-aware. It's the language of understanding what's going on in oneself. And I think that's just the sad part of it all. I think if people were more self-aware, it'd be a different story, for sure. It'd definitely be a completely different story. Let's take a look at this video.
Story, major new details into the disappearance and apparent death of Codi Bigsby.
A day in court for the boy's father revealed new details into jailhouse confessions. Codi Bigsby is charged in the 4-year-old's death. As a trial date is decided on, we're hearing new details into what Bigsby reportedly told jail officers about Codi's death and how he disposed of the body. 10 on your side's Kiana Patterson has the update from court. Kiana?
Another one.
Yes, we were in court all day listening to witnesses like former Hampton Police Chief Mark Talbot and several officers from the Hampton Roads Regional Jail. Now the judge will decide if those confessions will be used in the case that's set to start in March tomorrow morning around 9 o'clock. Now in court, several officers read a confession letter Codi Bigsby asked to write early in the morning on August 3rd, 2022. In the letter, he says he found Codi unresponsive. He says he then put Codi's body in a trash bag, placed that bag in his car for 3 days, and then buried his body. A jail supervisor says she turned on her body camera and asked Bigsby to write his own confession letter. That's where he echoed the same statement, adding Codi must have fallen. Now, the defense attorneys are skeptical of how the confessions were documented. At the end of the day, Bigsby's aunt testified that he never received any of her letters or commissary while in jail. And
so, in other words, they're trying to say that he was getting, being given a hard time in prison, which they used to lean on him to get him to write these statements. But again, why would he go out and write several statements, several of them, unless this is a situation where they felt that statement number one was just not good enough? Because they were like, wait a second, if he did this and he's saying in June of 2021, then this math ain't mathin'. We need a more concise confessional. Then sure, that could be it too. That could very well be it. Are they making him do his? Are they making him pushing him to write these confessions? I don't know. It wouldn't be good if they are, but at the same time, I just don't see why somebody would write out these confessions if they didn't do it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But again, we have heard many a story about the messed up culture behind bars. Okay. And what goes on in jails and what goes on in prisons and all that. The culture and the environment in there is a completely different thing. So that is possible. But at the same time, he wrote 4 of them, y'all. 4. So something just ain't right, in my personal opinion. Sadie just said this really quick. I think about, oh wait, no. That's not that's not the one I was looking at. This one. Or they realize they are not well and beg for help. Beg for help with it, but don't get taken seriously enough because they haven't done anything to exhibit their instability. That's actually true as well. There's a lot of times when people say, oh, this is what's going on. I have an issue. This is what's bothering me. I have this, and this going on. And then people just sit there and go, oh, okay, word. Oh, that's what's going on? Okay, word. And it's like, well, by me speaking out about it and telling you about it is me trying to reach out for help. I'm talking to you because I'm hoping that you can help me out in finding some way of finding some balance in my life, right? I'm talking to you because I look at you as a friend and maybe you can help me out. But see, that's the problem. We live in a weird world where when it comes to people talking about their mental health, there's a lot of people that have a tendency to just, there's a stigma attached to it. Like I said before, it's a really crappy stigma. It's really crappy. It really is crappy. And I do think it's wild that the same people out here that will sit there and go, oh, I care about, the mental stability of this person of people are the same ones that still kind of look at that person that just confessed to having an issue or trying to seek help like they got leprosy. It's weird. It's really, really weird. And it's like, yo, it's just somebody who's going through some things. Like, we can take a moment out of our rat race, self-centered, self-absorbed rat race that we do every single day and just take 5 minutes to have a conversation with a friend, check in on them, just say, you good? What's going on? And that's it. That's it. It's kind of sad, but we live with that, He said he's evil. He evil too. Yeah. Okay. He evil too. All right. He most definitely evil. As Dub said, say it louder for those in the back. Yes. Okay. Again. All right. Period. But we live in that world. And it's like, it's not leprosy. Talk to a friend. Something happens, call them up. I mean, it takes 2 seconds. Real talk. Takes 2 seconds. Takes at work. Like that sounds weird for me to say at worst, but like it takes 2 seconds. At best, it's 15 minutes out of your day to check on your friend that that may have confided in you on something. So let's pick up the phone call. You know what I'm saying? It's not that bad. I swear to God. We need to be more aware of those things more often. But let me play a little bit more of this.
Another officer testified a notebook was found inside of Bigsby's jail cell in December of 2022 around Christmas. That notebook includes writings outlining a very violent incident on June 18th, 2021, where Corey beat Codi until he went into cardiac arrest. Then he buried Cody's body. The defense believes that Corey's confession was suggested during the initial investigation at the Hampton Police Department in January when Corey reported that his son was missing. Now, the Hampton Commonwealth's attorney, Anton Bell, says today's hearing was nothing more than a fishing expedition, and he says today was a day of reckoning and a day of truth. Take a listen to what the defense had to say to that. I know you said today was the day of reckoning. What did you mean by that? No comment? Still going to be.
And we already saw this part. And what's interesting to me is that if the defense is trying to make it seem like, oh, they did our client wrong, they did Corey wrong. No, Codi is nowhere to be found. He has written several statements saying very, very much the same things over and over again. Here it is, guys. Let me just break this down for you guys really, really quick. Let's just talk about this really quick. The common denominator in every single one, at least, is that he found his son unresponsive and he performed CPR. Then somehow he took the remains, put it in a bag, and then went and did what he did. Started digging. Okay, for lack of a better term. Every single one of those statements are the exact same thing. Some are a little bit more descriptive, some have a little bit more details, so on and so forth. Let's be real. Say he found him unresponsive. He came home after being wherever he was. And by the way, these are all little babies. These are all little kids, by the way. And he left them by themselves. Just a quick reminder of that. He left these children. Some of them were in like little playpens. Okay. Real talk. Just there by their doggone selves for hours at a time. Okay. With Codi being one of the older ones, chilling. If I'm correct, there was 4 children in that house, all of them under the age of 5. So think about that. Kids were there by themselves. So if he came back home and that kid, that young boy was found in the way that he was and he performed CPR, he did not call 911. He did not call 911. He did not call 911 the entire time. Instead, he covered it up. So if he didn't do anything, if he didn't take this young boy's life, why would he do all that? Do the math for me, guys. Come on, talk to me. He went, came home allegedly. One of them said he found him at the bottom of the stairs, found him there, performed CPR, did not work. One of them said he tried to put him in water to see it would wake him up, put some cold water on him, something like that. Did not work. He prayed over him. He prayed with him, rocked him in his arms, all that. Then automatically it went from an innocent, an incident not done by his own hand. Okay. Let's just say that. He shows up. He performed CPR to his son. He finds him in dire straits. Boom. He did not do anything yet. He didn't do anything wrong. But then suddenly remains in bag, goes off to a grassy area and buries the body. Again, make that make sense, guys. If you didn't do anything wrong, why would you be covering up a crime you didn't commit, or that a crime that wasn't even committed? You see what I'm saying? So for the defense to be like, oh yeah, you know, when the truth shall come, everything that glitters ain't gold. Don't you eat yellow snow. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they say. Because the math still doesn't math. Does not equate at all to him in any way, shape, or form being innocent. Even if he did not take that boy's life by his own hands. If he didn't do that, why would you go? Why would you go and cover it up like you did? Make it make sense. He wrote 4 of them, and they're trying to make it seem that law enforcement said, "I got these cheeseburgers. I want to give you these cheeseburgers. You know you like these cheeseburgers." Like, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense, guys. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. This man did this. He confessed. He's having mental breaks. He's not well in the head. We already know that. It's clear. Those confessions say something. They definitely say something to me. Anyway, guys, yes, Nicole said, Pascal, stop cheeseburgers. Yeah, I got these cheeseburgers. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but it's not mathing for me. Those confessions, those statements better be used in court. That's what I think. That's what I truly think. He definitely did something not right in this situation for show. And we need justice for this young boy. I just hope he actually fesses up to what actually happened so that they can find the remains of this little boy. Unless when he said he went and burned the clothes, that maybe he burned the remains too. And maybe he's not mathing that together. He's not smashing that together. That could very well be the situation, guys. But we will see as time goes on. This trial is still going on, or, you know, they're going to be going into trial here soon. We'll see what happens because they got more stuff going on tomorrow. But as much as the defense is sitting there going, oh, we going to get them. Like, you ain't got nothing. I need to see smoking gun stuff. Real talk. Real big smoking gun evidence that can exonerate Codi Bigsby. But I don't see it yet. Written statements say a lot. Written statements say a lot. Anyway, guys, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to do that. And please do not forget to crush that subscribe button, babies. Be good to have you a part of the Pascal Show family on YouTube and on Facebook. So don't forget to hit that follow button on my Facebook page, okay? You know your boy's working hard out here in these streets. And of course, I'd appreciate the support, okay? I do have my GoFundMe still going on. Please go check it out. Trying to put together this holiday special. I could really use your help. $5, $1, any of that stuff goes a long, long way. That link is in the description box down below. So please go click on it. I'll make sure it's pinned to the top of the chat when this whole conversation is over. Actually, I'll just do it right now. Hold on. Let me just do that now. Bang. Now it's pinned to the top of the chat. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Okay, so don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook. Of course, I appreciate all y'all. I really do appreciate all this love and support. But anyway, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great, prosperous night. Sleep well tonight, guys. All right. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.